good day. Pleased with the offense. Got off to a fast start. Kelly led the first group 70 yards and hit Amari Rogers for a touchdown. And something we always talk about, if we can get off to a fast start, that really helps us the rest of the day. I felt like our tempo was much better. Felt like our guys did a good job of keeping pressure on the defense. And a lot of, I think we had 13 explosive plays, 9 receiving and 4 on the ground. I really felt like all 3 quarterbacks played well. I know Kelly had 2 big touchdown throws. Chase Bryce had 2 touchdown throws. Trotter had a lot of explosive plays. I can't remember right off the top of my head if he had a touchdown pass or not, but made some big time throws. So all 3 of those guys were very consistent. Very pleased. I think we only had 1 sack on the day, so pleased with the guys up front and the pass protection. And receiver-wise, had a lot of guys make some big plays. T. Higgins, like I said, Amari Rogers, Justin Ross, had several wow moments. He's had a bruised right shoulder. And his first play, he gets in there, and the quarterback throws a little bit high, and he goes up with his right hand, makes one of the most incredible catches that I've seen. And so I think his right shoulder's okay. And then he came back and made 2 big-time catches in the end zone. That was very impressive for his first time in Death Valley. And another freshman, Lynn J. Dixon, he continues to impress just every day. Very similar to Travis last year, probably even getting something more than what we thought. Not real sure in the recruiting process. Knew he was a guy that had some of the qualities we're looking for, but man, he's further along. His very first play today in Death Valley, he took 50 yards to the house. And it reminded me of 2011, playing Troy in our opener. Sammy Watkins' first play, first catch was to the house. Later on in that game, Mike Bellamy, true freshman, on a 65-yard to the house. And then Martavis Bryant, first catch as a freshman, down to the 3-yard line. And then I kind of see that today out of Justin Ross out here for the first time. Lynn J. Dixon on his first carry speaks really well to what we have coming in the future. T.J. Chase made several big-time catches as well. DeAndre Overton had a nice touchdown catch. And Will Sweeney continues to play well, probably one of the most improved wideouts from last year, this year. Making plays, it's fun to watch him out there. He just got so much quicker and faster. And he got to play a good bit today. Trevion Thompson got banged up a little bit, got out, so I got Will in there with that third group, and it's fun to see him make some plays. So overall, overall I was pleased. I think the biggest negative was our short yardage and a few reps down there at the goal line. Really didn't get an opportunity to finish the right way, and so that's something that obviously we're going to look at and correct. But really pleased for where we are right now. We're not where we need to be for 3 weeks from now, but we've got a couple more days to get there. And but as far as first fall scrimmage, probably one of the better ones that I've been a part of.
Coach, no turnovers. Sounds like there weren't many penalties. You have to be pleased with the execution of the first scrimmage.
Yeah, that's always something that you're watching is just the procedure penalties. We did have 3 procedure penalties, and that's 3 too many. Trying to work on some things there. Got a lot of guys. I mean, we're playing about 54 guys on offense within every 10 or 15 minutes. So a lot of guys out there. Need to clean that up, but was very pleased. I told him I couldn't remember the last time that we had our first scrimmage of the fall with no turnovers. So that's a huge takeaway. And with the defense that we have and with all the other guys we have offensively, if we can protect the football, we're going to be a tough out for our opponent.
Is it more difficult or intriguing with how close the quarterbacks are competing?
Yeah, I think it just brings a smile to your face. It really does. I mean, sometimes you may have a quarterback competition and you're hoping you can find one that can help you win. And then I think our situation is we feel like right now we have 3 that we can go win with. And it really would not be a very drastic change. And, we had that in other positions as well. I mean, at wideout, I've got similar situation. Any one of the 3 guys could go out there and win. And that's really what, Coach Sweeney and our staff is trying to build. From a recruiting standpoint, is that every year starters got to come back and compete with the young guys coming in. That's really where you want to get to. But already through 1 week of fall camp, I mean, we feel very confident that we have 3 quarterbacks that we can go win with. And now it'd be fun just to watch those guys continue to compete here for the next 3 weeks to see who gets to run out there first.
How much does experience act as a tiebreaker?
Yeah, usually, there's definitely, the experience definitely is a factor. Coach Swinney says all the time that he doesn't mind playing a freshman or a sophomore, but if it's a senior, a guy with experience, it's got to be a knockout shot, because that guy's been there and had the experience and been through the battles. And that's the same thing you got with a guy like Justin Ross competing with a guy like T. Higgins. That's the competition out there every day, and DeAndre Overton is right there in that mix. We have a saying around here that best is the standard. And so, hey, we're going to need to find out who the best is. But I'm just proud of the way the guys are competing, helping each other. We've got really good chemistry. It's a good type of competitiveness and competition going on. Definitely not a bunch of individuals.
How's Braden Galloway coming along with his progression?
Yeah, Braden's, he's been banged up the last couple of days, but, the sky's the limit for him. I was just telling somebody, I think this 2018 class of guys we signed offensively, I think we hit on every single one of those guys, and Galloway is a guy that immediately reminds you of Jordan Leggett. Just an explosive playmaker. We'd like him to get back. Hopefully his injury's not too serious. We'll get him back sometime soon. And then another guy that doesn't get talked about that we're very pleased with is Jordan McFadden. He comes from a good program over there at Dorman. David Gutshaw does a great job. Michael Lancaster, his O-line coach, does a great job. Has coached several guys that we've had here at Clemson, but he's further along than what we expected. Great feet, been more physical than we expected him maybe to be as a freshman, and been a very bright spot. We'll see how he graded out on the scrimmage. But really, every one of those offensive players in that 18 class, I was telling somebody the other day, they kind of remind me of the guys that left in 16. When we finished that national championship season offensively, you had really at every position, your best guy was kind of leaving. Deshaun and Leggett, Gallman, Jay Guillermo, Mike Williams, Artavis Scott. I kind of see that in this 18 class. At every position, I see multi-year starters, leaders, kind of those franchise-type players. So that's going to be fun to watch those guys this year and the next couple of years.
Yeah, did you say Braden is banged up?
Yes, I don't believe that he was able to scrimmage today.
Right guard might have Tremaine and Sean maybe starting to separate themselves there, or are those spots still up for grabs?
Yeah, I think it's too early for us to set a firm depth chart. I think Matt Balkhorst is a guy at guard that's very physical. He's one of them that you got to say, whoa, not sick him. He wants to go after him. You got to kind of pull him back a little bit. Very pleased with his progress, but both of those guys have done well, and they know it's we got 21 more days before we get to that kickoff, and then even after that point, that's just who goes out there against Furman, and then it's what you do on the field, and the depth chart can change, and I think that's where we're going to be offensively. Is that it's going to be so close at several positions. It's not going to be like we have some firm depth chart the Thursday before Furman, and it's going to stay the same all year long. Coach Swinney has done a great job of really, part of our culture is competing every day, and that best is the standard. And the way that we've been very fortunate to recruit very well, if you don't bring it one day, you're going to get passed by. And Coach Swinney's already shown that the staff's not afraid to move the next guy up and give him opportunities. And when you have that culture, then that keeps the backups going and working. They don't just say, well, I'm not going to get an opportunity, let me just sit down. So I really like that. I like to see how many guys are out here competing, making plays.
Jeff, you mentioned that this is not an offense of individuals. How essential is that to have when you have a quarterback now that could extend into the season and beyond?
Yeah, I think Coach Swinney told me he saw a stat that the ACC had done, and we played more guys last year than any team in the ACC. And obviously winning the ACC, being the top team in the ACC, obviously we've got some talented guys, but I think that speaks to the depth and willing to put guys out there. And I think our offense looks at it that way. When we start from the top offensively, we got Tony and myself as co-coordinators. That right there starts at the top. That shows that, this is a collaborative effort. This isn't about one person. It's not about one coach. It's not about one quarterback. It's not about one wideout. It's about that entire group. And our goal, we talked about the very first night offensively, we had 72 people in that room. I think there were 54 offensive players and 18 coaches. So there's 17 people in that room that first night we had that first offensive meeting, and it's going to take all 72 of us to get through. I mean, we played, last 3 years, we played 15, 14 games, 44 games in 3 years. There's some teams that haven't gone to bowls that maybe played that in 4 years. So it's a long year. We're going to need everybody, and I think that's kind of that mentality. So you see a guy like Mitch Hyatt at left tackle, he's trying to bring on the next guy behind him because he knows it's going to be a long year and he may get banged